Hello and welcome to Toy Polloi Two, and today we have an interesting Photoshop project because I need to make some custom stickers for this Wind Raider. Corey over at the YouTube channel Make Shape Create got in touch and said that he was working on a project to make an evil version of the Wind Raider, which I think is going to be called something like the Dark Raider. And the idea is to make it the sort of thing that Skeletor would fly, so he's going to repaint it and resculpt a load of bits for it, and for that he's going to need some different stickers that match the sort of paint scheme that he is working on. So he's asked me if I could make some custom stickers that fit onto this toy that he can use on his new version, and that's what we're going to be working out how to do today, because obviously the stickers are currently applied to this toy. I've got to work out how to get all of those shapes and details off so that I can then take that into Photoshop and draw him some new stickers from scratch. So I'm going to show you today how I go about taking measurements and details off a toy like this to recreate stickers, and then we're going to make some custom stickers and send them over to Corey for his project. So here we have the Wind Raider, and as I say, this is the Origins version of this toy. It's a lot bigger than the original version, so I can't just use a scan of the original sticker sheet. We've actually got to sort of recreate these from scratch, and annoyingly when you buy this toy, this one has just been taken out of the box, the stickers are already applied, so it means that we've got to work out how to sort of recreate these without taking the stickers off the toy. So it's a little bit more of a complicated process. Some of them are quite easy because we can just take measurements. We've got nice ones here which are sort of flat, and we can just take measurements of the exact shape of them. Likewise, the one on the tail is pretty similar. We can just take a measurement of that. But how do we go about sorting out stickers like this, which are sort of awkward shapes and also stuck onto curved surfaces? Well, it's a bit of a boring process, but basically you need a sheet of paper and you just lay it over the top of it and start sort of making marks and making sort of little notes as to where it should be, and then you start cutting it out. So let me show you some of the bits of paper that I've cut out to make the stickers for this, and all of the notes that I have been taking. So as you can see, I've started making notes of all the measurements of the stickers. For some it's fairly straightforward because they are sort of almost square. So this rear panel here, I just take measurements of the top, the bottom, the height, and then I can redraw it in Photoshop using those few details. That can also be done for this rear panel here. Just take careful measurements of it. Likewise, the jets, all you need on the jets is the width of that, so that's 20mm, and then we know that that's a 20mm circle. Even a slight panel like this, which has a lot of curves to it, if you take enough measurements, you can actually recreate that fairly easily. The ones that become complicated are of course these side panels, because there's a lot of different shapes and curves, and they're on a curved surface. So for those, I make paper templates. Essentially, I'll lay a bit of paper over this sticker and sort of gently make marks on it, and then start cutting it out and fine-tuning it. So you can see for this front panel, this is my paper template. It's actually made out of a few pieces of paper because I went wrong sort of part way through the process and had to cut bits off and stick them back on. But with a little bit of sort of fine-tuning and sort of cutting and going back and forwards, I've ended up with a piece that actually matches fairly closely. And you only have to do one side of this because the other side is a mirror. So that was the pattern for the front section. I've also done the same for the back. Another complicated piece. Again, this is just sort of trial and error, laying bits of paper over it and cutting them and modifying them until I've got a shape that matches. This one took a few goes as well, just because it's such a complicated shape, but you can see I've ended up with something that matches pretty closely to the original. The only other one I've had to do like that on this toy are these little side control panels, because they are a very thin, slightly curved piece of paper. So again, I've cut myself a very thin, slightly curved piece of paper, and with trial and error and careful cutting and yeah, a little bit of toing and froing, I've managed to get a shape that does match that one. So now the plan is to take these bits and scan them in on my flatbed scanner. I'll go into Photoshop and I'll make an outline version of all of these stickers, which I can then print out onto a piece of paper. I'll cut them out and we can test them to see if they fit, and if they do fit, I can then get onto the process of drawing the custom stickers for Corey's evil version of the Wind Raider. And just like that, the file is done. This took me about 20 minutes. As you can see, it's not got any detail to it. This is just the shapes, because that's all I'm testing at the moment. So you can see we've got this, the front details, the side details. That's the bit that goes on the tail. Here are some control panels, the little jets. Basically, this is all of those stickers sort of marked out just as shapes. So I'm now going to cut out some of those, test them onto the vehicle to make sure that they actually fit If I'm happy, I will go ahead and start redrawing these stickers, but if not, I may have to make a few modifications. It may be that some of these don't quite fit. So this is just the sort of the process of making sure everything is the right scale before I start doing any of the sort of proper work on the sticker recreation. So let's get these cut out and see if they actually fit on the toy. Right, a lot of cutting later, and I'm very happy with how this has turned out. Most of these sticker templates will fit. You can see that one is a pretty good match. I've got one with a slight error, which is this control panel. I've made a slight miscalculation on the measurement, so the middle of that needs to be 1 millimeter higher. So I've just made a little note on that bit of paper. I will modify that, but otherwise I think all of these stickers are going to fit really pretty well. So that means I can get on to the next process, which is redrawing all of these in a sort of evil style. Now Corey has sent me some images of things that he likes and what he's going for. So basically I'm going to use those as a sort of starting point, get redrawing and see what I can do. With some of them I can copy what is already here because it's just sort of colours, and as long as I get the colours right, you know, certainly on things like these vents and maybe even these control panels, I can just copy those. But other ones like these side panels, we are going to be redrawing from scratch. So let's go and do a whole load of Photoshop work. And there we go, that is the final sticker sheet created. There was a little bit of toing and froing with Corey just to make sure that I'd got the designs and style right and that it was going to fit with what he was working on. So I've now sent that file over to him, and if you want to see how it's used and his finished custom version of the Wind Raider, head on over to his channel. I will put a link to that in the description of this video, and you'll be able to check out exactly what he did and how he used my sticker sheet. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And if you've really enjoyed it, then head on over to my main channel, Toy Polloi, and subscribe there as well. And thanks for watching.